We'll call to order the meeting of the Urbana Free Library Board of Trustees, September 12 meeting. Roll call.
Kate? Here. Jeff?
Here.
Here. Chris?
Here.
Mark?
Here.
Michael?
Here.
Garrett?
Here.
And Barbara is not.
Right. Are there any additions or corrections or modifications to the agenda? Hearing none, we'll move along. Do I hear a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
There is no plans for an executive session tonight. Public comments. We have no publics. No public. Okay, we're ready for our Elaine Bearden's presentation. Yay. Summer reading.
Summer reading.
All right, so actually I can move myself here. Okay, it's great to be with you here tonight. My name is Elaine Bearden and I'm part of the Adult News Services team. And I'm excited to share about our 2017 summer reading program. This summer's theme, Reading by Design, was selected by the Illinois Library Association. And it focused on the doing of reading, like imagining, making, exploring. And we had a great summer. I'm going to give you kind of an overview of May through August with the summer reading, some statistics on number of participants, and then I'll finish with some of the community sponsors of our project. Yeah. All right, May. Planning for summer reading happens months before when there's snow on the ground. So by the time we host the summer reading program kickoff, which you can see in the top left there, we've spent months thinking about how to engage patrons for the summer. And from May 16th, which is the day we begin school assemblies, until May 31st, we registered 677 people. A lot of registrations that month. Children kept track of the minutes they read, teens kept track of the number of pages they read, and adults kept track of the number of books. We hosted 275 for the kickoff on Saturday, May 20th, with a dance concert by the Capoeira Angola Center, drawing, crafts, word puzzles, ice cream, and coral reef touch tanks. And you'll see that in this picture here, courtesy of teacher Brandon Rutherford. And he had some of his students come and share about the tanks during the kickoff. All right. The week before the kickoff, Lynn Harmon, Rachel Belinga, and I appeared as a Three Pigs construction company in the schools to hook kids on reading with us for the summer. We engaged with 2,225 students, and during that week, during May alone, we were responsible for 28 programs and outreach. That was all the staff. Including the monthly Urbana Food Truck Rally. The library has a presence there every month with DJs, Joel Spencer and Brian Robinson from our staff. And they share our vinyl collection. Got that. All right. June was another big sign-up month with 438 registered. And staff continued participation in Read at the Market, which is once a month at the farmers market. June, we also participate in the First Fridays, the Imbibe Urbana downtown event First Fridays. And for June, we had 130 people in this room for a production of Peter and the Wolf with Barbara Hedlund's woodwind quintet and puppets from Puppet Folk Productions. Staff also did outreach this month with a table at the Jenny Rhodes Neighborhood Day at King Park, where we collected favorite local movie titles, and backed by popular demand for the horses, miniature horses. We had 4 of them in this room reading with the kids. So, pretty cute. That's branded up in the upper right-hand corner. All right. June saw a lot of animal and insect interaction. Children helped release butterflies donated by Michael Murphy after butterfly-themed story time. Teacher Brandon Rutherford began installation of 2 coral reef tanks, and he's also trained 2 young volunteers, one a teen at the high school and another child who is kindergarten or first grade, to test the pH levels in the tanks. going. We also had the therapy dogs back, Read with the Dogs, which is up in top center picture there. And the top left is part of our stop motion drawing program from June. We also continued all the cultural story times we do. For June, we had the Brazilian and Portuguese story time, and then in August, we had Spanish, Middle Eastern, and Japanese story times, and those are often in collaboration with UI departments that focus on those things. Great. Registration for summer reading happens all summer long, so in July, we registered 153. There were 4 English conversation groups that happened on Wednesdays we also had 4 of those in June as well, so that went for 8 sessions. We also saw the return of the popular pop-up library. I don't know if any of you have been here downtown on a Friday night for the pop-up library, but Habitat for Humanity brings a living room of furniture, and the library brings books and games and stuff you can check out. And so there's a young man who's enjoying reading there on the couch in the middle of Main Street. So, and this is, I had to put this in it because I thought it was pretty cool. This is the archives tweeted during July this diary entry from a Civil War diary that they acquired this year, and it's from July 3rd, so I thought that was just cool. Right. In July, 272 book prizes were given to children. Graphic novels were super popular. In fact, we had to keep on buying new gift books in that category because they were so popular. We had 60 campers from the U of I Young Writers Program from grades 1 to 12 come to the library, and we share book ideas and writing activities, and books like the one in the photograph there. July culminated in one visit to Hogwarts in this room. 90 muggles gathered to celebrate Harry Potter's birthday. And here is platform 9 3/4 over the door here. You had to enter through it to get to Hogwarts. And participants got to be sorted by the sorting hat and also drink some butterbeer, which I understand is very good. Teen Open Lab continued to be popular with students waiting in the hallway before it opened. And here's one of the philosophical questions. Down here is the hot dog a sandwich? So they would often have these little voting kind of things to
Looks
spark
like a
discussion.
split vote.
Yeah, it is. It is. And these Kiva blocks, back. You'll see these creations here. These Kiva blocks are super popular. Lots of families work together and make. We've got a whole notebook out in the department if you ever want to see all the different stuff they've made. You might think that summer reading scales back in August, but that was not the case this year. This summer it just kept building. We had 78 programs in outreach in August, which is unbelievable. Like chalk art, the Urbana Park District Construction Camp came by for some activities. They made some of these structures out of straws and paper clips. And of course, we got ready for the eclipse. I don't know if any of you had an opportunity to be a part of that. But at the day of the eclipse, we had 387 people indoors and outdoors for viewing and a children's story time. And August was also a month for new collections. We launched not one but 3 collections: the productivity, the craft collection, and the music equipment collection for children, which the Storytime chicken is demonstrating there with the shape drums that you can check out. I think you're going to hear more about those later tonight. Comic-Con was August 5th, Saturday, August 5th. They did it last year as well. And 574 attended this on a Saturday, and including one small Star Trek fan there, who's the daughter of one of our staff members. A special feature this year was the Chibi-Con. Chibi means small. And the day also featured speed drawing activities, which is what you see up here, which is actually in this room. They're all spread out on the wall. And comics giveaways. Some of the publishers gave away comics. And the person that made this Darth Vader said it took him 45 minutes to make that because of it. The cutting is like a little paper folding thing. But he didn't need it, so he was going to share it with us. I don't know who put the glasses on Abe, but I just thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah, somebody tweeted that. So here are the statistics for the summer. These pictures on the next two slides are all from August, but the statistics are for the whole summer. So we had 1,350 registered for summer reading. We gave away 1,299 book prizes.
Oh my word.
Um,
Wow.
the kids read 461,400 minutes. Teens read 358,894 pages. And adults read 1,451 books. It's pretty awesome. And that's over 100 books more than adults read last year for the year.
Wow. Yay.
I've got something else to say about the teens, but that's on the next slide. All right. So for programs, the whole summer, 7,708 attended programs. 240 programs in outreach in 108 days, which is an average of 2.2 programs in outreach a day. That is an increase of 45 programs in summer over last year. And it's an increase of 600 people from last year enrolled in programs. One particular program this summer was the Teen Pizza Party. And this was a reward for surpassing the number of pages read last year for the teens. And they surpassed it by 95,894 pages. So we're pretty excited about that. Yeah, it really is. So you'll see the shredding event in the top right, we did with Senator Scott Bennett. And then down here in the bottom right is the process of making a PVC pipe drum. The Teen Open Lab is working on that. And Mary Towner is demonstrating our three-dimensional eyeball at one of the park nights. Okay, so you've seen all the things that we've done, but it's really a community effort. So we want to thank our summer reading sponsors, particularly Larry and Margaret Jobe for the summer reading kickoff concert. Coupon prizes from the local businesses listed here. Myers for a treasure box of prizes that was very popular. Peggy and Bob Podlasek and Illini Media for sponsoring Comic-Con 17. Ecotech Marine for aquarium lights. Quality Marine for fish. And a special thanks to the Friends of the Library for funding 1,299 book prizes.
Wonderful.
Who solicited the contributions?
I'm sorry?
Who solicited these contributors?
I think it's a variety. Rachel Malinga on our staff sends letters to a lot of businesses. She keeps track of who gave last year and so forth. And sometimes businesses contact us. It's great. And then I'm not sure, some of the other things I think happen through the foundation perhaps, like the concert, the kickoff party concert. And the Coral Reef Project, I think, is maybe Brandon and Rachel Fuller have done that.
Could we put a dollar value to their contributions?
Well, some of them, yes. So for example, Larry and Margaret Joe gave a particular dollar amount check, so I can tell you what that is later. But
Not
as
that I'd
far
want
as
to single them out, but I'd
Sure,
want
sure,
to
sure.
totally if there was a dollar value.
Oh, that's interesting. We'd probably tell how many coupons, like Chili's Grill and Bar would give like coupons for free dinner. So Rachel probably has the number of coupons we got from people, but I don't know.
The reason I ask that is several years ago we in Rotary started trying to define volunteer hours, and then we put a dollar value with it, and this year it's become legislation. And so I think that's what we ought to be looking at, because it sells when you can say these people contributed to our program in X dollars, even on grants. It would sell that we've gotten $50,000 from our contributors.
Sure.
I think we want their permission to do that, put their name there.
You'd have to, yeah, but I think they could probably give you, or would be willing to give you a dollar value. You might have to
Thanks,
ask.
Chris.
Yeah.
But there are some areas where people donate a large amount of money, they don't want their name because it's a red flag for
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, but I think that they would be willing to say $25,000 or $10,000 worth of merchandise or something. I mean, they wouldn't have to say they gave that much money or anything, but
Well, they have the option.
We could try it and see what happens, I don't know,
I'll see what we can do I'll see how we can quantify it.
yeah.
Along the same lines, you could turn it around and use it as a fundraising opportunity, as fundraisers like to say. We have an opportunity for you to get credit for sponsoring this, that, or the other thing. So for instance, what would it cost to sponsor something or other connected with one of these wonderful events that are obviously very, very successful? I think you could sell that. So attaching a dollar figure from that perspective would also be useful. I know some people that you could approach.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not far away either, are they? How many, no, the 7,708 children, how many is that real head count? Is that the number? Is that different?
Are you asking of the 7,000, how many of children?
Are they two children who came twice? Or was it 3,800 who came twice?
It's just a total number. So that includes adults, children, and it could be, we have some families that come to the programs all summer long, so they
Yeah.
would be counted more than
Many
once.
times.
Okay. Thank you.
Just a comment on the increase in readership in the book count from last summer. If you think of it, the weather was very moderate this summer. And it's usually when we have extreme weather that people stay in and read more. And in nice weather summers, people are outside reading less. So the fact that we had really quite a nice summer and that we had a higher book count is a tribute to everything you're doing to attract people despite the attraction of the weather. So that's nice.
Quite amazing.
And with this picture in mind, did Scott Bennett help to sponsor the thing this year? Okay,
And he did approach us, his office approached us.
okay.
So this thing that you started, Chris,
Yeah.
with conversations.
And I still think
This is year
it's
3.
not done enough. There's records out there, everybody's got records, banks do it, but it isn't
Yes.
as broad as ours, I think.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's a
great.
very good idea.
Yeah.
This is, the 3rd year and the most successful yet, so thank you for a great idea.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to ask Elaine?
This is great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You're welcome. And I think it'll be up on YouTube
Okay.
probably the
Okay,
next couple of
good.
weeks.
And thank everybody who's involved in this.
Pardon?
Thanks to everybody who's involved. in
Yeah,
this.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, we have the action items for the consent agenda, minutes of the board meeting of August 8, bills of August 9, payroll of August 18, bills for August 23, payroll for September 1, and bills for September 6. Do I hear a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
Move approval of the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Very good. Okay, we're moving into the action items. The home field energy invoice for $10,500. These are backwards, because this was not yet paid, right? That's July's. Or is it paid? I thought I'd indicated that the next one was paid. But the reason we've got them on the agenda is they're over $10,000.
Right.
So, but is this first one paid for it this time? No. That's what I thought. Okay. So I guess we'll treat them separately in case there'd be any problem. The first bill for $10,055.92. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second? Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the bill that was paid in June, so this is retroactive, but again, it's over $10,000 for $11,054.92. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, budget amendments having to do with the approval of one of the unions. The others have not. I hope that they're similar.
City, yeah, municipal.
That's all we can hope for. So it's basically a 1% across the board, including positions we don't even have filled right now, I noticed.
What's raising the pay scale? So the whole pay scale goes up.
And in that
That's
one
what-
position, it was low to begin with, probably, if it's a full-time job, so that's good. You hear me? I mean, you get what I'm saying?
I'm thinking pay
You're
scale in
not-
my mind right now.
Okay. Are there any questions about, of course, it's only staff. It's just only-
No, let me just, whatever.
Is there a motion to approve the budget amendment?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, the resolution 9.4 is for the janitorial services. I guess my question is, and I think I kind of asked it this afternoon, but it didn't. Why are we 5 months? Is that till the end of a period? Is that when we think that the open bidding process will be figured out, or why is it? It's only a 5-month period, right?
Correct.
Why?
It is the amount of time that the custodial service, JPE Inc., said that they would be comfortable with, the shortest amount of time moving ahead. So we need some more time to work through the competitive bid process.
Okay, okay.
And this is the amount of time that gives them the space they need as a business. It would also give us the time to get through the process, and then we would be able to tell the next company or the same company, this is the starting date, so people can make appropriate decisions.
But it is because of the bid process we're going to be
Yes.
entering into. Okay, that was what my question.
And if I may,
Yes.
Yeah,
Anna had 3 small changes.
You're editing rather
Small
than substantive.
Editing,
Yeah.
correct. So I will read to you what the
It's
editing.
actually 4.
Oh,
she found
There's
it.
that comment.
well, let me give you the 3 that I've got, and if I missed a comment, then you can tell me where that is too. Well, do you want to, Anna, do you want to say the
No,
names?
go ahead.
Okay.
You're on a roll.
At the end of the first paragraph, Anna suggested that instead of entered into 13th day of September, entered into this 13th day of September, first paragraph, last line.
Okay. Yes, good catch.
Second paragraph, first line, it says, the library and JPE entered into a service agreement.
Into 2,
So we're gonna pull out the 2.
yeah.
So into a service agreement. And the third line down there, it talks about certain cleaning and janitorial services, plural, as opposed to service, singular. And then there was the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth paragraph down. Now for good, valuable, and mutual consideration, comma. So those were the changes Anna recommended.
Yep. And they're all editorial, so
Yeah.
they're not substantive, so we can go ahead. Seemed to me.
Does the janitorial services have responsibility for the other building? Not the ones across the street, but for the storage?
Yes.
And how often do they do that building?
I want to say that it's weekly that they go in there, but I can't swear to that one because I don't have it in front of me. So,
But this building is daily?
daily, things like vacuuming is done daily. Mopping certain floors is daily.
So there's something extra each time, probably. That they do certain things, it's one time, but they don't have to do each time.
We have a schedule for them.
You have a
It's actually
schedule.
all spelled out. This is what they do daily, this is what they do weekly.
Okay. Are there any questions? Again, that was the big thing. I didn't understand why we were 5 months, so. If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same signs.
Yes.
Per capita requirements, trust fact files, chapter 1 and 5. Do we have, are you discussing it, or is who is, or what?
What I wanted to do
Oh.
is remind you that the per capita report and the per capita grant has certain requirements. One of the requirements is that the board read chapters 1 through 5. You will receive a copy and it's online. The requirement, if you were to read it, says to do the third edition, which is the old edition, which is available online for free. Some libraries don't purchase these for their board member. We were given permission to allow you to read the fourth edition, which is more current. They're very similar. So what I thought would be helpful is to put it out here that this is part of your obligation for us as board members. You don't have to discuss chapters 1 through 5. You're welcome to discuss them, but you need to read them. So I would be happy to schedule a future meeting where you discuss a couple chapters at a time, or just we can have a time where you talk about any questions that you had. That's kind of up to you, how you feel would be most productive, a good use of your time.
Do you need signatures that we have, in
Nope.
fact, read it?
Nope.
Okay.
If you could tell me that you read it, throw an email out my way, that would be helpful.
And will we send the links to that, or will that?
You will be sent the links to
Oh,
that.
okay. So-
I have in the past, and I'll do it again.
Okay.
But everybody has,
Everyone has
do the
a-
Now,
new
we
people
need to
have
do that
this?
every year, right?
Different
It's-
things every year are required.
It seems to me that since Jared will be the one who reads this for the first time, if he has questions, it might be
Yes.
useful for all of us to
Yes.
have read it again, which we should do anyway, and then you quiz us.
Oh, gee.
If there are some questions that you have about
I
it,
don't like
or
that.
whatever.
Actually, that's a great idea, and just what I actually had a breathing area of free time, and I did reread these, and I found it a very good thing because we
Yes.
had all read it the first time, but I think it's something that bears repetition. I think it will make us more effective, and there are little things there that say, oh yeah. On the other hand, we have a much better framework
Yeah.
as we've improved ourselves as a working board, and there are just some good points just to keep in mind. So this is
It'd
not
be
a
so
hardship.
easy for us to
Yes.
breeze through and say, oh, I know all this
Yes.
stuff. But if
Yes.
we know that we may get a question,
Yes, if you thoughtful
it might
reading,
make us
mindful
read it a
reading.
little more carefully.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like work I can get out of, but really, I was the one who presented last year, and I think several staff members were pumping me full of things to say as we were walking in the room. But I got through it, and I understood it better because I was on the line to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think at the risk of having when you were running some of us out of the building after so many's over, I said we should probably do it. And we should have the board members pick it.
Just give us
Pick a topic.
forewarning of when this is going to happen.
Oh, no pop quizzes? Take all the fun out of it.
See, that's what I,
And we may want to
He
build.
cannot simply walk in and say, okay, folks, this is the day.
Do you want to say November?
when does this have to be filed by?
It has to be turned, we have to submit by January.
Oh, by
So if we
January.
plan for, like I say, November, a couple months
November
out,
gives us
even
a
if we
chance
bump
to
it
try again.
A month.
Kick it
that
down the
gives
road
us-
as far as we can, huh?
It's really straightforward reading, and it doesn't take that much time. I mean, I was impressed again at how well laid out the wording
Yes.
is. It's very understand,
It
very,
really is,
very digestible. So it
Okay.
doesn't, an hour, have it done.
So I have a question. So Heartland,
It's yours to keep.
every year,
Yeah.
we take a turn and present one of the legal or the laws that apply to. Is that a requirement of the law?
Not of this board,
No, but I mean, it may be of the Illinois Heartland Board.
I couldn't say.
Good. Because, somebody will make a 45-minute presentation and somebody else will do a 5-minute PowerPoint, and they've got so sick of trying to talk everybody into doing it that now I think they're putting it up on the web as a little PowerPoint things, and so then you're sort of on your honor to go and read all these things. I mean, it's a good process, but it is
Tedious.
tedious.
But the fact that for the per capita grant, they do, over a period of time, hit all of a variety of things. It isn't just from this book either, is it?
That's correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing that will happen is there's a standard, there are state standards, and every year there's some type of accounting for a state standard. So this year it's safety, for example. So Kathy will be giving a presentation in November on safety and how the library is meeting the expectations of the standards.
Makes me wonder if Illinois Heartland has some revolving requirement and they just don't realize it, and that they're doing them all the time and stuff.
Now that you're a honcho in that
Oh,
organization.
geez.
Yeah, yeah, we see that you bow to you now.
I'll find
You
out.
kill it if you can. I mean,
That's right, that's right. That's
Well-
called power.
I'm totally okay with doing a short quiz, if you will, in November, if that's
Okay.
amenable to everyone else.
Okay, it's good. It's good, Jerry.
We'll all be rooting for you.
You're giving us the short
You may
version.
have
Right.
to warn us in
Yeah,
October.
we'll be
that we
rooting
have-
for you.
Right, yeah. I think this is 2 months.
Same as you're on your own big ball.
Okay, let's,
Let me back up a minute. I think it's also reasonable for anybody who has an interest in a topic,
yeah, yeah.
present that,
Yeah.
propose it. I mean, I'd like to hear us talk about computer data, IT, you know.
And Barbara's not here, we gotta get her
Data
the
analytics,
responsibility.
right.
We're making research.
We have Barbara the responsibility to do it
Yeah,
also.
Barbara was
And
too.
October's going to be Immigrant Services of the Library, which is why it's going to be October, because she'll be here.
Yeah.
And of course, we did that for a couple of years,
Okay, next on the agenda would be the Friends report on anything
Yes.
dollar amount.
We had a meeting, and a whole bunch of what was talked about was covered in Elaine's wonderful presentation, so I'll skip all of that. I guess the most important thing is that the book sale was quite successful, made over $6,000. I don't know if a more final number has come in. And the chair of the Friends made a point that I thought was interesting. The sale is not only important for the money that it brings in, and of course that's wonderful for us as well, but she sees it as an opportunity to get the community into this building. A lot of the people who come are patrons, but many are not. And they walk in and they are greeted by smiles and friendly people and helpful people, and that spreads goodwill that you cannot put a dollar figure on. And she's convinced that that is perhaps even more important than the sale of the books. And I thought that was interesting and worth bringing to the attention of this board. And one other thing, well, first of all, it was on the weekend of the Corn Festival, as you all know. But she also stressed the fact that there were approximately 10 people in this room at all times during that sale. And that's quite astonishing. I've helped in previous sales, and that was not true. So by all of those measures, I think this was a singularly successful sale.
And it was a big sale. I mean, there were
Yeah.
lots of books on the floor, yet the day of giveaway practically. So it
Well,
was,
they sent a lot away.
Yes.
I'm not including that in my report.
the only thing I would have to say, and it's not going to be cured in any overnight, but Thursday night is still kind of rough. And those that have not been here, the dealers come in and they have to buy a membership, but I think for what they get out of it, they take away a lot, because they just pick books. They cannot use a scanner to determine what books they want, but anything that is good shape, they stick in their bag and they check it later. They really go through.
Pros.
I don't know what we do, because she's gotten, the big thing was when they had a scanner, they could scan, do I need this book or do I have demand for this book? And they can't do that anymore. And Theo puts a hammer down when she invites them in, but it's still
Is
rough.
the purpose to make the most money for the library, or how do we tie this back to why are we doing this?
Basi-
I understand if somebody comes in, writes $1 million check, the book sale's kind of shot, but we're all pretty happy about it. Right?
I think for dealers would look at it as a fine opportunity to add to the inventory at a very, very, very low cost.
Maybe pricing's the issue then.
Many of these
For us.
dealers are Chicago. But for us, I think it is an opportunity, as you say, the community involvement.
Yeah, yeah. Spreading goodwill.
It's interesting.
What's the relationship between the books at the sale and the books sold by the coffee place?
Books are put aside that the friends or the library staff feel might have they're in better shape, and people might be willing to pay $3 for a title versus at the book sale, it's $1 for hardcover, 50 cents for paperback. So it's the books that go out there, we feel are maybe of a higher caliber. Maybe they're newer titles, maybe they're in really pristine
But they're
shape.
the same pool of books then?
It's the same pool of books, yes, but it's actually different pools of money. When the friends' money comes in from the sale, they get deposited right away in the library's account and split up between the 3 departments, archives, well, 2 departments, archives, and then adult news services. A particular amount for children's books, a particular amount for adult books. The $3 books from the cafe go into a special fund, which has got a good, I'm going to say between $15,000 and $20,000 in it right now, which is a lot of $3 books. And the friends like that to be spent on bigger ticket items, like they purchased we purchased with the money, the $8,000 worth of awnings on the porch in 2014. So
Who does the selection for the books to go up in the cafe?
well, the friends, when they're sorting the books, they'll put some aside.
Okay, at that
If
time.
they see them, and then as staff come in and look for things that we want to either add to the collection or purchase ourselves, we might see something and put that on the cart as well.
Sometime you might just pass along to them, because I've heard complaints that it's the same books up there all the time.
Oh.
And so I think even if they rotated some of them,
We
maybe it
do.
wouldn't look
So
like. Are there?
I'm
I
a
appreciate the
denizen of the coffee thing, and I swear the same books have been up there for months and months and months.
There
Like
are
as though they have to sell one of the books that nobody wants before they put up a new one.
No, they
That's what it
actually do.
feels like, so.
They do go through and pull titles that have been languishing and then put new ones out. So thank you for the feedback. That is a good reminder for us, and we'll make sure that happens more often. Thank you.
But back to Chris's comments earlier, do we have anybody on staff or in the community or in the group, the friends, who knows how to price these books?
I will tell you, Fred comes by and helps out. If he sees books that are still laying on the table that he thinks would sell, he'll pull them. So, and for those of you who don't know Fred was previous librarian here. So, do we have other help?
Barbara looks through them as well.
Barbara goes through them
And she'll
too?
look them up online. We have that special card. So we've got a couple people doing some evaluation. Also, there are a couple people on staff that before the sale opens, staff go through and pull books to add to the collection or to be given away as book prizes. And if they see a couple people, Carla, who works in the archives, has got a particularly good eye, and she'll pull things aside and put a note for friends saying, I think I saw this online at some place for much more, and then we'll evaluate them. So staff keep an eye out as well.
Do we ever sell them in other venues? I.e., do we put them on eBay or anything like that?
We do not. The Friends have chosen not to do that given the amount of time. I believe they had tried it in the past, but it was cumbersome.
Would farmers market be a place to try it if some of the group wanted to try it again? Or,
If the
Even though
Friends
it's
wanted to do
cumbersome?
that,
even though it's cumbersome.
as an organization, they could do that, but the 3 book sales a year is a lot of hours.
Yes.
And I don't know what the rules are selling at the farmer's market. We get our booth for free, so it is something we can explore if the Friends were interested.
It actually raises an interesting question that I've resisted asking, but now seems like a good point. I've been going to their meetings now for I don't know how many years, and it's always the same people. Some of them, I can't imagine, aren't going to get tired pretty soon. What happens when they begin saying, I ain't doing this no more?
I know one in particular went on to some other volunteering.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
This was it, the Friends was it, because she was involved in the high school theater program. and went
they
grade
do
2 there.
a lot for this
She does too.
library, and I worry about that.
I do
It's a
too.
conversation to have at the Friends meeting. It is a separate 501c3 organization,
Yeah.
and that is
I
And that's
hope
a
there
work-
are some people who will step up,
I do too.
Yeah,
And
that's
I-
what
because it's just amazing what they do.
And that's where I feel that if we had some additional activities that people in the Friends do besides the book sale, and I'm not
Yeah, but the
downplaying
book
that at
sale
all.
needs to be sustained,
know.
and that's what I'm
Yeah,
concerned
but
about.
It's
it
the same
being-
thing though. If a person would get tired, let's say, of working book sale, and there was something else in Friends they could do, maybe they'd
Well,
stay with
that's a
Friends.
separate question. My concern is how do we keep this book sale going when the present group gets tired of the really monumental number of hours that they spend?
And it is the same people.
Yeah.
I know it is.
Yes. The other issue is valid, but
Yeah,
wasn't the one I was,
yeah. But it's probably something that the friends need to approach before we get excited. I don't know.
But we as the recipients ought to
Yeah,
be-
we're the recipients.
just something to be aware of.
Yeah,
We owe them a lot.
yes.
End of my
Foundation
report.
meeting.
Next week, Wednesday.
Did we have one?
Next week, Wednesday.
Oh, next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Yes, don't have my day book. Heartland,
Nothing much is happening. They got their 1.4 million. And so everybody's breathing a big sigh of relief, but it's been kind of quiet lately. And the advocacy committee didn't meet this month for the first one, so maybe the pressure's off now that they've got some money coming in or something.
That's good.
okay, let's move along to the administrative reports, and in terms of Celeste's note to us, one of the first things I would wonder about is when we change the 5 renewals to 10, is there a chance, and I know there's a chance, but are you looking at, might we lose more books when there's longer checkout time? People forget that they've got them.
They do get reminders. Every time it's coming up upon renewal, they get the same reminder they get if they have it out the first time.
Okay.
And if they really forget and it goes overdue, they get a number of reminders because they are in the process of buying the book at that point. So I think that either you're going and actively and renewing it, or you're getting the emails to say, don't forget you still have this book out. We have, what we have seen over the past few years is that the number of checkouts has increased as we allow people to renew. So from that perspective, it seems that people are still interacting with their books.
I was glad to see we led the way and Champaign changed their policy.
We've got a great relationship with them. If I could add one correction, we had some type of auto spell check, I think, that happened. On the first page, under the Comic-Con, Peggy and Bob Podlasek donate funds every year to the library. And the person they do it in memory of is Greg Bliss.
Oh, I was
You'll
wondering.
see
Okay, okay.
A person commented
Yes.
this sounded like a rock band.
On the next page, there he is,
Yes.
with the
So
correct
it's-
spelling, and I will,
Yeah, I thought it might have been a nickname we weren't.
It's a
Okay,
great
so
rock,
they call him Great Bliss,
name of
so-
a rock group.
Right, right.
So it is in memory of Greg Bliss, and this is a very generous ongoing donation that they do.
Nice.
So can I ask a question? So when we moved to town in '75, Marilyn was working at the Courier, and she went to interview the mayor and asked this dumb question: why are there 2 cities here, and why don't they cooperate more, and why can't they have the same fire department? And she got, oh my God, those guys, that football team, we would never do this and do that, and et cetera. And, you know, I mean, it's still like that. So my question is, what do we do with the Champaign Library? Do we do anything in conjunction with them? I mean, do we have any initiatives to share? I mean, I know we share computer systems and things like that, but is that just something we consider them over there and we talk to them and we're kind to them, but we're not involved in joint initiatives of any kind? Or it's just open-ended. I just was wondering.
Sure. I wanted to make sure that all the pieces.
Sorry, keep talking. Yep.
There are more
No,
pieces.
go ahead. No, it was just a sort of an oddball question that I wondered.
It's a fair question. I forget when you found it. We found a collaborative collection development agreement between the Urbana Free Library and the Champaign Public Library from years back that talked about this library would collect more heavily in this area and this library would collect more heavily in that area to serve our shared public better, because resources are finite anywhere you go. So we have a long history of collaborating together. They invite us to different opportunities. So for example, they do a genre study with their adult librarians where they read books in different areas so you can learn more about westerns or romances or whatnot. And they've invited our staff of fiction as well to participate in those if they're interested. So when we are thinking about changes to policies that run in parallel with each other, we will frequently look to see what is the other library doing. We have shared patrons, and so we'll give them a heads up that something's going to change on our side, and sometimes like this, I think within a day of our changing our renewal limit to 10, they change theirs as well.
So is this collection sort of agreement still in force? I mean, do you talk to each other about collections or not?
Not as much anymore, but we do look to see the different kinds of things each other is doing. So for example, we have all these special new collections and they don't have anything like that, but we've set up the circulation rules so that their patrons can come over here and check those same things out as well. Sometimes other libraries make it local card holder only, and we did not want that to be the case.
Yeah, I'm just reminded of the Park District, and it's always bothered me that somehow they agreed when Anita Purvis came online that the Champaign Park District would do arts and Urbana would do nature, and that's why the Urbana Park District doesn't offer all these art classes, because they're all over Champaign and vice versa. But nobody knows about it. It just sort of supposed to balance out and things. I just wondered if there was some library-related issues.
I think it's more of in a supportive nature. So, for example, we've been talking about what we could do next year for National Library Week in April. Could we bring in together a speaker that would be at one library or the other? So we're looking at more collaborative things that are evident that it's a partnership.
Yeah.
Historically, I will tell you that Fred tried very hard to get ILA to do specializations, and say Urbana was going to be in mysteries and all this, and it never went anywhere. So it has been, but Fred was trying to expand it beyond our borders, and it just did not go. I will say that we've had meeting until their library director, the board director, was injured in an accident, but in which Donna and Celeste and the two presidents have met. And I would like to see those continued, and we just haven't done that since that one meeting. But and it was in the nature of what can we do more collaboratively. So we're kind of doing it, but everybody's busy, and so you don't get going.
I can't give specifics, but I have noticed that when I'm looking for a book, sometimes Champaign will have it, Urbana won't even have it, not to mention where it's available. It's just, and I wonder whether that's from the olden days or whether that's still, so that there is some pattern, but I haven't paid enough attention to be able to say what kinds of books tend to be only in Champaign and which only in Urbana. Is that?
That would not be tied to the old agreement that Kathy found. We said,
Okay.
this thing, so we're not collecting with regards
So
to
is
that
there
at this
something
point.
that we tend to get more of and Champaign gets more of?
Well, I would have to talk to the librarians who are actually purchasing.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I
not
don't do
conscious.
purchasing. Well, they also have twice the budget overall.
Yeah.
So they are in a position where they can purchase more materials, but they do it in the way they do it. So they might buy more copies of bestsellers than we do because they have more people that they're serving and more money. So I know we both like to have deep collections because we have a well-read, large community, and people have different interests. So maybe some of the titles you're seeing there are very located, are because particular recommendations are being made by their public,
I see.
and particular recommendations are being made by our public. Those are a couple of reasons why. I wanted to mention also that we did apply for a grant a couple of times to get Wi-Fi hotspots with laptops that could circulate. We had applied for a grant, I forget from whom it was, and there were going to be either 20 or 25 hotspots that would circulate in our community, but we didn't get the grant either time. So we are looking for tangible, different ways to participate in serving our public together.
Maybe this underserved issue could be an opportunity to work together, and
We have shared the information that we have with the Champaign Public Library and the Mahomet Public Library, and they are both looking at what will serve their community as well. So, yes.
I maybe can answer some of that question in a partial way, but I was not in the room when some of these things were discussed. I'm not trying to start a Champaign-Urbana war here, but there were issues in the past when there was an opportunity to discuss them and do things. I think there was a proposal to not build the Urbana, or not add on the Urbana Library, but build on Champaign. That was basically some of the board members in Champaign's view was, we're happy to take you over, but we don't want your building, and we'll put you a little larger district. I know in sports, I coached soccer for years, and we tried to get teams in Champaign, and from Champaign to move over to Urbana. And the coaches wanted to come, and every time we had an official at a field, we had a team to play. And but the top leadership didn't care about that. The Champaign people don't want to play on Urbana field. Until I brought them over one Saturday morning. Take a look at this.
It was hotly contested at one time, and there were lots of articles in the newspaper, and it had to do with their mayor and our mayor, and there was opposition on both sides. So it'll never happen, I think. I think we can say that it probably will not happen.
Well,
You can see why people would have trouble getting used to the unfamiliar topography.
yeah, our field's had a little bit more lean to it. But yeah, I wasn't in the room in any of the library discussion. I was with some of the other things, but I think that changes as time moves on.
Yeah,
And people
it probably
change
will.
and take a different view of things. And
Okay,
I started
Kathy,
working.
you want to give us any kind of a,
I have a quick
or you have it? Okay, go ahead. Well, I haven't forgotten you. I thought I'd come back to you, but go ahead.
Well, this is a small thing, but it was a lot of fun this summer. We allowed staff to wear jeans with their Urbana Free Library or summer reading t-shirt if they chose to. Normally, people only wear their Urbana Free Library t-shirt on the first day of the month or during the book sales. And we said, it's summer, let's support summer reading. And I bet, as you saw, when you came in any day this summer, a lot of staff were wearing their t-shirts, which everyone got a free one as a gift to their friends. And this has been so successful and people have been so happy. We've made every day for staff an Urbana Free Library t-shirt and jeans day. So it's a small thing, but it was something that was really well received. And it is really, there are different colors. Our graphics department did a beautiful job in making them all these different choices. And so just a smile on your face kind of thing.
It's great.
Great.
Are can you give us an update on the energy audit, Kathy?
Well, they did come, and as you read in the director's report, they did come to do the walk around, but we haven't heard anything since that time.
well, I will buy you a cup of coffee because we finally have something where I can see the boilers. We've been talking about boilers for so long.
That was exciting.
Well, here they are.
They're now
right.
onto
And,
flu work.
Flu work, oh, that's pretty exciting. We're entering flu season, so.
That's right. So, anyway, thank you.
And while we're talking about smiles on faces, I think this letter from Beth Paoli,
Yeah, that was nice.
Adult Literacy Grant Specialist. You done us proud, lady. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I just asked Becky tonight, she's working diligently on getting up to speed on the new accounting, and it's going to be work. She goes to school every week. Every other week? Is it every week? 3 days a week, every week. Every other week. But I hope it pays off in the long run.
I must say I'm very happy.
And I bet you're acing it.
I'm very happy to do this. And I think this is a way we can make a rational sense out of our business operation, so it didn't grow as affected the library operation, or vice versa. I think I'm so glad we're doing this. It didn't make sense to have our own business department.
No.
We have one up 2 blocks away. It's all paid for. It's all licensed. The software's new. It'll work for a long time. So I think this is a win-win-win for everybody.
And this definitely will be more in compliance with audits, won't it?
There are a number of
Yeah.
things this will make better.
Yeah.
I'll again say Becky is doing a fabulous job. This is a massive, massive amount of work. For anyone that's done a software conversion, you understand this is massive, and it's bills as well as payroll. So I'm thrilled that Becky is the one leading the charge on this.
Is a big part of the conversion, old to new?
What's that?
Is a big part of the conversion from the old system to the new system?
We don't have anyhow, there's a lot that has to be learned for the new system, as well as training staff that need to know, and then making sure that those crosswalks are set up. So one thing you'll see, actually, is we're going to be streamlining some of all those individual lines in the budgets. They're going to be streamlined and shrunk down following what's happening at the city. And we have the LO5s, the operating, general operating, then we've got our L25s, we've got this. Some of those are just going to be pushed together to be all in the LO5's general operating budget, as opposed to having all the separate breakdowns.
Great.
So there will be some streamlining. Nothing is lost, just streamlined, because there's a lot of granularity that we can get to with reports. But as far as all those lines, the city is leaning towards a more streamlined version, and we are following our steps.
So
Becky,
the software is okay? I mean, you like it? And okay.
It's like any other software conversions. There are going to be parts that are going to be like really fabulous, like wow, this is so great. And there'll probably be a couple of pieces we're going to go work better the old way.
I wouldn't say that's like any software conversion. If you remember when the university converted to Banner,
Oh, God.
we
No.
lost.
Oh,
We
oh,
we literally lost one very good staff member due to a nervous breakdown.
more than
and,
one.
There was many
That's a
many
that's a
stories
swear word.
of that.
And one of the
it.
worst
So
order.
it's not like Banner.
No, it's not like Banner.
Okay.
No, there are a lot of good things. There'll be a lot more reporting ability and such.
Okay.
We'll be able to pull information in ways that make more sense.
And there is some kind of conversion program so that you're not having to re-enter data, are you?
Correct.
Correct.
Correct. There will be a transfer of
I guess I'm really in trouble today. She can't keep my mouth shut. But with every new system we treated at the university, the people who said, I can't take it anymore, I'm out of here, they had worked very hard for 35 years, they had full pensions, and they deserve a chance to get out and do something for the rest of their life. So it wasn't a bad thing. We can argue later. It wasn't always a bad thing. But anyway. And the other problem was that is, when you have an old system, it's generally COBOL-based, written for IBM 360, well, there's no programming in it anymore. So if you need to do a new job or a new feature that is required by the law, or just want to do it, make things better, you can't find people to do it. Who knows language?
I see no other business to come. Do you have? Celeste?
We have a report from Adult
Oh.
Youth Services.
Okay.
Do a very quick show and tell with you if that's okay.
Okay.
As Elaine mentioned in her summer reading report, we debuted 3 new collections, one of which was our musical instruments collection for
Oh, yeah.
children. These match some of the other sets that we have in the children's area of the library, where they're in the clear backpacks, and the kids love to put these on and run down the hallway, so it's extra cute. The musical instruments vary widely in what's available, so we've got some that have CDs and books that are with them. This one is a rain kit, as it were, and we've got some unusual musical instruments that people may not have come into contact with before. This is, for instance, a thundermaker, and you swing it in a circle and makes that thunder noise. We've got jingle bell sets, egg shakers, all sorts of fun things. So if you'd like to have a look after the meeting, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to show you. What you probably won't see is quite a few when you head down to the children's area, because they're all checked out, which we're so excited about. So we pulled back a couple to be able to show you tonight, but know that you won't see much when you head down there. But we all think that's a good thing.
Yes.
That's great.
So the little bag is for us to play with?
Oh, I mean, if you want, you're welcome to check them out.
And give us a concert the next night.
That's great.
Is there anything else? Staff, anything else? Seeing no other business to come before this meeting, I declare the meeting adjourned.